And this is where we now just make sure that you're entertaining the folks, because we're live around the world.
Ooh,
Fancy.
do my hair.
Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. These are the things that you should have done before we went live.
I did.
You primed.
It was worse before.
You got to get show ready.
Yes, I put on the
See, now you understand
Madonna
why. You now understand why it takes Madonna so long, because she's got.
Well, I know why it took Madonna so long, because I have some inside information about yesterday. So.
Oh, okay. Well, hold that thought. Let's.
I will.
Let's kick off.
MLVC.
Excuse me, but I'm singing in one key and you're singing in another.
Poor is the man whose pleasures depend on the permission of another.
Open the door now and suffocate. Just give me a fan.
I don't trust any man who hasn't kissed another man.
I'm waiting.
All right, people, it's time to get your dancing shoes on. You're listening to MLVC. It's all Madonna, all the time.
Welcome to the party, bitches.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna Louise, Veronica Ciccone. I'm your celebration tour correspondent, Stefan. It is Saturday morning. Well, at least where I'm at. And today we are joined with Dimitry, who attended last night's show at the, am I going to say this right? Ziggo Dome? Is it Ziggo?
Yeah, yes, it's Ziggo.
Ziggo, okay. At the Ziggo Dome in Amsterdam. Welcome, Dimitry.
Glad to be here. Happy to be here.
See, and I think this actually works out a little better. Dimitry and I were talking about possibly going live last night after the show. Dimitry drove to the Ziggo Dome, and I guess it took you a long time to get home.
It took a very long time to at least get out of the parking garage. I think almost 45 minutes. So,
did you reenact the Turn Up the Radio music video? You were like yelling at people and like sitting on top of the car? No.
Well, it's freezing out here, so we had the heating on and inside, and happy to be in the car at least. But it was quite a journey to get out.
I've seen some pictures of the Amsterdam folk freezing in line. Like it's
they're
hardcore.
I have a friend that works at the Ziggo Dome, and she is saying that some people are becoming hypothermic as well. So it's Madonna was.
Let's not die for Madonna, shall we?
Well, the problem was that the rehearsals were longer than expected. So the doors should have been opened at 7, but she just finished at 7. So they kept the doors closed for like 20 to 30 minutes longer. And people were outside and it was freezing. Yeah. So it was, and that, I think the whole show got like moved up by 30 minutes because of the rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long sit, one of the longest waits so far for the celebration tour, I believe.
Were you outside waiting in the cold?
We were there, and then I had to pee very badly. And I was like, oh, I'm here. 3 minutes, the doors will open. And then they didn't open. I was like, no. So I was running inside as soon as the door opened.
And where were your seats last night?
I was in the north section on the second row. I planned to be exactly where the Blonde Ambition bed is. So like right in the middle, so I could see all the lights and stuff. Uh-huh. We were just a little bit to the side, so like the Michael Jackson tributes.
You couldn't see this. You couldn't because it's all silhouette.
I could, but it was like almost like this. So I think my dad was a little bit further. He didn't see it well, but the show, it was a very good point to just have a big overview of from because not only Madonna's on stage, but there's lights, there are people walking, running, moving parts, everything. So I wanted to see it like from above.
Yeah. So had you seen anything about the show prior to seeing it last night in person?
Every time I go to a concert, especially with Madonna, I say, okay, I'm not going to watch. And then the first night in London, and I was someone live on Instagram and I saw the whole show.
Yeah.
But it helped me as well because before I went yesterday, I had like planned, okay, I want to film Hung Up, I want to film Holiday, Ray of Light. So I knew at which point to take out my phone, and the rest I could just see and not be staring at my phone screen the whole time.
Yeah.
So I had a whole plan for myself.
Yeah, that's smart. I too had to. I mean, I couldn't. I was like, when she premiered the show in London, I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait months to watch this.
Yeah, and the wait was long before it was yesterday, and then it flew by because she had a very, very long monologue about World AIDS Day yesterday.
I've seen that. I was going to actually ask about that. So let's talk about that. So it was yesterday was World AIDS Day, and Madonna brought that up during the show, and I actually thought it was. I mean, she got emotional. She was The only problem I had with it was too long. I think she kind of lost herself in her story, and she was repeating herself, but it was quite moving because she was actually in tears almost, and she stopped her monologue at one point because you could hear her crack up. Yeah.
And because Madonna, she doesn't really want to show that side too often, but it was quite emotional. And like my dad, he isn't the biggest Madonna fan, but he has seen her more than me.
Well, Dimitry, we can't all be perfect, right? I mean,
no, but he was like, okay, I get the message, and it was a good message, but it was a little too stretched out also because we had to wait quite long before it started. It started 15 minutes past 10, I believe. So the whole show was more than 2.5 hours compared to maybe.
I mean, you get what you paid for, you know. I mean, those tickets are not cheap. You want Madonna off the stage in an hour and a half? Nothing.
No. Well, I got what I paid for, but in Holland, the trains, they finish quite early. And I have seen quite some people leaving around Ray of Light's bedtime stories already because they had to catch trains and buses. But I think it's more a problem we have in Holland than it's a problem that Madonna has, because when you go to Madonna, you know she's going to start late and you will end late. So be prepared. I wanted to go tonight as well.
Let's reframe this conversation just for a moment. Instead of saying she starts late, let's just say she doesn't start early.
She doesn't start early, and I talked to a few like foreign fans who came, because a lot of people from Peru, England, Greece, Italy. There were a lot of foreign people, and they were like, "Why are you Dutch people like complaining? It's normal for us that the concert is late and we have fun all night. It's something that you do all night.
It's a party. It's
and it's Madonna, and the newspapers, although they were much more positive than during Rebel Heart or MDNA, still there was that underlining like, why is she that late? And I was like, she's Madonna. Of course she's late. She does her own thing. She wants it to be perfect. She starts when she thinks she's ready, and I don't care.
Well, I mean, we've covered this on the show before, and obviously, there are mandates with the venue. The venue wants to make money off of merchandise, and I'm sorry, the venue wants to make money off of concessions, so booze, food. Madonna wants to make money off of merchandise, so like your hoodie that you have, like people are shopping when they come, and there's other. So what was your inside information about why she was not out before 10 o'clock?
Well, the first thing was that the rehearsal were longer than planned, so I think everything moved up from there. And then I saw a lot of people like walking on stage, checking lights. So maybe something was not working correctly. I saw the middle screen of the three big ones in the back was glitching out sometimes. It wasn't bad, but I saw like her face, and then it was moving. Oh yeah, and then it went again. So maybe there were some technical difficulties. Luckily for me, I knew how the show would start. So the moment I saw people clearing a path for Bob, I was like, okay, be ready now, get your phones. I didn't mind it because what you said, I went like shopping, I went for a drink, and you have a lot of places to sit and relax. And we had we sat down. So for us, you can just sit and relax. But I think for people standing, waiting from 6 a.m, sitting outside in the cold, it can be a problem. And from what I've heard today as well from the woman working there, that people, because it's so cold, and you get inside the warm Ziggo Dome and it gets warmer and warmer, and quite some people passed out yesterday because of that. And that's something that I'm like, okay, I know you're a diva, Madonna, and but your fans, they have the highest priority. And I think for people coming there to be inside at around 7, and then you have to push everything up, that's I'm not mad at her, but I was like, oh, why it's happening in Holland? Because I know everyone is going to complain and I have to defend her again.
Well, yeah. And I think obviously there's so many factors involved in a show, like Madonna, when Madonna comes on stage, there's a ton of checklists that have to be checked off in order for her to do that show. And she's obviously not in control of the lighting. It's not like Madonna walks into the venue, excuse me, and starts hanging lights and rigging cameras. Like there's a lot of people who are doing their jobs. That was her first night in Amsterdam. Who knows how much time they had to set up the equipment and the stage. And, we don't know. And for us to blame Madonna because, she didn't come out at 8:30, it's like, come on.
Exactly.
And who was the opening DJ? I think I saw it.
It's a Dutch Iranian woman. I forgot her name. It's very bad.
It starts with an L. Hold on. If anyone in the chat knows what her name was, let me know.
Or something, I think.
It was because she did a Madonna did a what am I trying to say? She sort of collaborated with her on a song, like not vocally, but like they used like an AI version of her face in the video that she did. It was
I didn't like the opening.
Not your cup of tea.
The music, okay, I can get it. It was like house-ish music, but it was very repetitive. Like it was a lot of the same. And then she would say like, are you ready for Madonna? And I was like, okay, she's now going to mix a Madonna song and make it like pump up the audience. And she didn't. And then she brought a Madonna song, and it was like the Sasha.
It was Ray of Light. Yeah, I saw that.
I copy pasted. It wasn't even edited anything. And I was like, okay, this is kind of lame like this. I was hoping for a little bit more hyping up.
Yes, I think some of the openers are probably a little better than the others.
I was so hopeful.
So you were not excited. Are you seeing the show again?
I'm still in doubt for tonight, but the only tickets available are like more than 400 euros. And if I go tonight, I go by myself, so I have to catch the train. And if the same thing happens, I get the same problem because it's like 1.5 hours from you by train.
Yeah.
So I'm in doubt. I think I spent my money on the hoodie instead of the second night.
I see. You've had your experience, and you have your memories.
I cherish today, and maybe if I find something online, I will check in from moments to see. I know some people who went or will go tonight, so I'll be up to date on what happens.
Excuse me, as I
hope to see something like someone cool, because Beyonce and Taylor Swift are in London, and for some reason I was like hoping, maybe they save one of the two for the dates in London, and maybe one will stop by. Amsterdam.
That's true.
The opening act came during Vogue, so it wasn't Beyonce, sadly.
No.
But you saw the audience. There were also a lot of not Madonna fans, and in a way that they were like watching the show. And the moment like the Sam Smith Unholy came on, or Beyonce, and they were like, she uses one of it. And I was like, but that's not, you come from Madonna and then you be hyped up for Beyonce. So it was fun to see quite a good mix of fans, new people, young people, a lot of young people. And from what I've seen, the audience was quite cheery and moving. Even the people sitting were like standing up, dancing. A lot of singing as well. A lot of songs they sang with her. Well, I've heard from a lot of other venues that people didn't sing or were like a little bit more stiff. Yeah. So I was happy to see the audience be a little bit more interactive. And I think Madonna noticed as well. She was happy on stage.
She was chatty, it seemed like, telling people to, like, I think right before her speech, she's like, don't talk when I'm talking. And she started to interact with the audience a lot more. Like, she was not that way, even when I saw her in Paris. And so I like that I don't know if she's loosening up or who knows what.
Yeah, I think it was before Erotica that she took off the hoodie or the thing. And she was like, she did like a little wave to someone. I was like, she's interacting with the public. And she didn't do that in London from the videos I've seen. And
no.
For people who haven't visited the celebration tour yet, it's a lot. It's very different when you're there compared to watching a video. The biggest example for me is maybe like Bitch Madonna, which on video I was like, oh, this is shit. And I wanted more bigger. And when you're there and you feel the bass and you see all the Madonnas walking around, it's so different. I was like, okay, the ending it's a good ending.
Yeah, you kind of get it.
And she even talks when she went down, she had the veil and she was like going down and she was already like this and she still, thank you, Amsterdam, and see you. And even the mic was already cut off, but she wanted to say more. She was happy. And Bob as well, he was great walking in. And of course, we are tall people in Holland.
Yes,
they say. And he was like joking around, like, oh, why are you so big? And he had one tiny man, and he was from
Bob
Malta.
Is tall himself. Like Bob is a tall person.
We're taller, I believe, than Bob is in the end. Yeah, it's when I go outside of our own country, I'm sometimes amazed how tall we are. It's and it was a fun night, and even with like the minor downsides that it was maybe some things could have been better for me. I think out of
Dimitry,
the 4 shows I've seen,
Dimitry, what were some of your favorite moments from the show? Like out of all of the songs, what were you most excited to see? Was there something that you saw that other than Bitch I'm Madonna where you're like, oh my God, actually, wow, this is actually really good?
I think for me, I was very, I wanted to film, and I did, like Hung Up on Turkisha and Hung Up. Like Hung Up, the first album I got for my birthday when I was like 7 was Confessions. And Hung Up is always one of the biggest hits for me.
That's precious that you were that young when Confessions on a Dance Floor came out. I guess. That is so cute.
And when I was 10, from the Sticky and Sweet tour, that was the first tour I went with my dad, and DNA, Rebel Heart, and now this tour. I've never seen Hung Up performed the way it was during Confessions.
Right.
So I was really happy to finally see the full disco mode of Hung Up, and even Hung Up on Turkisha. Maybe some older fans will get mad at me, but I'm young, so I like Hung Up on Turkisha.
I think that works really well, how she starts off with Turkisha and then it segues into the ABBA version. Like, I think that works really well during the show. And
another Holiday as well. It was
with such a good mix. It's such a good mix of that.
Such a good mix. And then the ending, when like the heartbeat is also the pulse that gets on the disco ball. It was a moving moment. And even the Michael Jackson tributes, I've seen it online, and when I saw it and the angel part came in the end, I was like almost tearing up. And I'm not like a very big Michael Jackson fan. I was like, oh wow, she really put a lot of care in some of these tributes. Prince, of course, a lot of people were around in pictures, and all the people from the AIDS, from Live to Tell. It was quite an emotional show, and I've heard many people say it, and I can confirm it's a very emotional show for her. But also for the audience, you feel the emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. It's so grand Like there's some really enormous moments, but it also feels very intimate at the same time, which I love.
Yes, and also because she's chatting with the audience, you feel more included, even though we were sitting and we were not like in touching distance. You felt with the screens, you could see her and you were like, wow, after 8 years, after Rebel Heart, you can, for me, that is, she is still there and she's still the same. And I said to my dad, because he sees her mostly in newspapers or on the news, I said, like, this is the real Madonna. She doesn't look like the newspapers maybe put her out as with the last year. It was the Grammys, I believe.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and now you saw her and you're like, yeah, of course she's getting older, but she's not like people. And she's nice. She's cute. She's making jokes. She's laughing with fans. She's laughing with the dancers. And I think she has like a very, I don't know if it's a tiny heart or a big heart, what you have to say then, but it doesn't matter if you can come up to her and you would talk to her, she probably would make time for everyone who stops by. Deep in her heart, she isn't the bitch she says she is.
Yeah.
She's very sweet.
Nice. She had her curly hair back when she came on again, because she had super straight hair for that one show, but I think it's back to what it usually has been, right?
She had one show with the straight hair, and then the second Berlin show was back to curly, and she was back to curly as well today, or yesterday, I have to say. I think I prefer it because Ray of Light and Rain and Bedtime Stories, she also has the straight hair.
Yeah.
So I like the mix up different styles, because the curly hair is quite Rebel Heart, Sticky and Sweet Tour coded, while the longer straight hair is more not reinvention, it's more Drowned World Tour ish, and you have the erotica team, it's more Blonde Ambition,
right,
kind of wig.
Yeah,
so
there's like little nods to the
little nods, and of course, because I've seen the show so many times online, I know where to look for all the little references, the boots from Sticky and Sweet during erotica and things like that. When you are there, you appreciate more all the details he puts in the show. If I have like one thing I personally didn't like, even when I was there, was the beginning of Holiday, like getting into the club. It's quite staged, and I believe she's talking into her mic, but the rest is like just pre-recorded.
Bob is live. Her and Bob are live.
Her and Bob, yeah. And that was also the one thing my dad didn't really like. And the other thing was like the Beast Within. I preferred it more when I was there. It was better than online or seeing it on YouTube. But why using the same visuals you already used? I was like, I would have loved to see like a new interpretation of the visuals made for the Beast Within. But the message was very, very good, and the fire on stage, it's fun. She put in everything they gave her. She put it into the show: fire, lights, lasers, everything. So for me, it's a 10 out of 10 straight. It's better than I've seen with the Sticky and Sweet, MDNA, Rebel Heart. For me, it's up there. And maybe MDNA visuals, they might be just above with all the moving platforms. But as a whole, I think this is, for me, the best show I've ever seen her do. And with the Ziggo Dome, what we have here, it's a little bit smaller than when I saw the Sticky and Sweet Tour in the big arena. I think it's better in the end. I would love to see her do like a big stadium tour, but to connect with the audience and have better sound quality, this was the perfect night.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, apparently they're putting on another date for Mexico. It's going on sale, and I think I saw that there are four South American dates that are going on sale. That's still a rumor, though.
I saw your tweet about Brazil. I think you tweeted it like a few hours ago that maybe Brazil's getting a date.
I saw some rumblings online that Brazil might
she
get. She
didn't say anything about like a new date, and there were quite a lot of Southern American people in the audience. So I think if she does more tour dates there in Brazil or Argentina, she will fill every stadium that she opens.
For sure.
She's so much bigger than
I'm sure they would be
Europe.
very happy to have her.
Did she go there during Rebel Heart? I don't know. I think MDNA might be the last time.
Maybe. I forget.
But she can come back here as well. And in Europe, I will happily go again.
Well, since I know you're a younger Madonna fan, why did you become a Madonna fan? What drew you in at such a young age?
Oh, well, if I have to believe my parents, when I was very young, I was born in 89. Did I say that 98, sorry, 98.
Oh, geez.
And during Ray of Light. And my dad always says to me that when I was very little, I was on the ground or on the bench, and like Ray of Light or music came on, I was already like cheering and finding the beat to be very energetic. And in time, my dad gave me like the Confessions CD back in 2005, out of my head. Maybe I got it a little bit later, I don't know. And from there, he took me to Sticky and Sweet, and I grew into it. And I think I became a big fan during MDNA Rebel Heart. When I was a little bit older, I was able to go online. I got a phone, and you see the Rebel Heart poster. I won that from the Dutch fan site. And now everything moved to Twitter. But that was the first time I came in contact with a lot of Madonna fans and was like, oh my God, this is amazing. People who like Madonna. And of course, with my age, sometimes it's hard to find people who like Madonna because if you're not gay or bi, then you don't listen to Madonna. That's kind of how people look at her at my age then. So I was also happy to see, like yesterday, a lot of young people, younger even than me, like kids and teens that were there. It's like, oh yeah, she can reach the young audience, and that was a good thing. And maybe that's the thing that drew me in the most. Like, it's a very close group of people who like Madonna, and it's not as massive as Taylor Swift or Beyonce is right now. Probably when you went to Blonde Ambition, it was.
Yes.
But maybe that's a good thing as well, because everyone knows each other, kind of, and then you can talk about it more freely. And we always have to fight together against all the Madonna haters. And that can be fun as well, to bring up the facts and show them, like, no, it's not how you say it. And like yesterday with the speech on AIDS Day, she said that doctors back in the 80s said, they're faggots, we won't help them. And now people on Twitter are taking only that little part that she says, faggots, they have to die, and putting it out like, she wants gay people to die. And I'm like,
for God's sake.
Take the whole speech.
People, honestly, people will just find anything to turn it and make it a negative, But
I can find my energy from it as well. Like, fight against it and bring up the facts. And people are saying, she was 2.5 hours late. I was, no, it was only 1.5 hours. Calm down. It wasn't that bad.
So what is it about Madonna that you love?
Well, I always say I came to her because of her music, not as much as her personality, because I was young and a lot of things I didn't know why she did it. I didn't speak English when I first got her first CDs. I didn't know what hung up meant. I didn't know what all the songs were about. But later, now I just love her fuck you attitude. And like, if you are yourself and you can do what you like, don't think, no, should I do that because they like it? Do I do it because I like it? No, you do what you do. And she is one of the only ones for me that really brings that energy, and I can see why people like Taylor Swift and Beyonce, but they don't give that extra mile that Madonna sometimes gives, and even yesterday, and say like, be lucky who you are who you are, and you have your own life in your hands. Your life is not in the hands of others.
Yeah.
It's your life, and that's a very powerful message that I love, that she always just brings out, even if other people don't want her to bring it out.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Dimitry, I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your day. You can go bask in the glow of having seen Madonna. But before you go, it's time for a little segment we like to call the lightning round. These answers are just meant to be quick off the top of your head, wherever you're at in your Madonna journey today. Don't think too hard. Favorite Madonna song?
I thought of it yesterday because I knew this question would come, and I'm going to say Graffiti Heart.
Oh,
because I could have said like Hung Up or things that I listen to a lot, but Graffiti Heart, in my eyes, should have been on the normal CD, not on the super deluxe. Only 5 people know of it CD, and it could have easily be a single and a big hit. I love the energy. I'm a drummer, so I love the drums in it. I love the synths in it. I love the energy. It's uplifting, and almost anything out of Rebel Heart. It's one of the, maybe together with Confessions, it's one of the favorites. But
okay, well, I was going to say, so favorite Madonna album?
Okay, I will say Confessions then, because if I have to listen to one album for 24 hours on repeat or for a week, put on Confessions. I will never, ever, ever get tired of it. Nice. And there are some songs on different albums that I might skip if I have to listen to them too often.
Sure. Favorite Madonna music video?
Ghost Town.
Oh, nice. So beautiful. She's so beautiful.
I love the post. Yeah, she looks amazing. The video itself is crisp. I love post-apocalyptic movies and like The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. So it was like a dream, like Madonna in the post-apocalyptic music video, and like, but also the little reference, like the Rebel Heart posters being burned up, things like that. It was. Yeah, one of the high moments from the 2016. It's probably one of her best.
Favorite Madonna tour?
After Tonight, I would say the Celebrations tour. Before Tonight, I would have said, even though I haven't seen it live, I would have said Confessions.
Yeah, that was
because I'm a sucker for disco. So,
favorite Madonna movie,
and with Confessions. Oh,
sorry. You finish your thought. Go ahead. And with Confessions, go ahead.
Oh, well, what I was with Confessions is that the tour is that great that she didn't perform Vogue, she didn't perform Like a Prayer, and nobody missed the songs. Yeah. So that means the whole tour is that good.
Yeah.
And she did do them with Celebrations, but Celebrations would take the one spot. And the favorite movie, I have to confess, I haven't watched I haven't watched many of the movies. So I would say Who's That Girl? I like that movie because it's just a fun story, and she kind of plays herself in a way, just being a rebel. Maybe I should watch some more movies.
Yes, you should.
I always love her cameo in James Bond. And things like that. So
no, if you've not seen many of her movies, start your homework, Dimitry. You've got plenty of movies to watch.
I believe some are on the streaming services now, so I should dive into them.
You can find them. Favorite Madonna look, and this can be from a music video, a tour, a photo shoot.
Ooh, there are so many, but if I have to say one now, because we're in the Rebel Hearts era memories, the unapologetic bitch music look with all the diamonds, and I wish it was one of the looks they wore during Bitch on Madonna on the Celebrations tour. She didn't pick any out of the MDNA and Rebel Hearts.
Oh yeah, outfits. I don't think so.
And she should have done that one instead of the Give It To Me or 4 minutes look from Sticky and Sweet, in my opinion, because it's such an iconic. It's also on the cover of the DVD, and it's such an iconic look, and she looks she looks marvelous in it.
Yeah. Well, everyone, that's our show for today. Dimitry, thanks for giving us your impressions of last night's show in Amsterdam. Tell everyone where they can find you on social.
It's just my name, Dimitry Van Ieterson, on Instagram and on Twitter. It's the same, and I'll repost your work sometimes and reply to your work. And if you're a Madonna fan, you will find me because I post every day about Madonna. I can't help it.
No. And remember, everybody, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at MLVC Podcast. If you'd like to donate to the show, we're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, tick that button so you never miss a video. I'm going to be going live on YouTube with listeners from around the world to review Celebration tour dates, so you don't want to miss that. Tick that button. Until next time, Dimitry, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And this is where we will hum a Madonna song while this will be When It All Falls, When It All Falls.
I was doing Graffiti Hard. I was like, I'm going into the mood. Nobody will know that, and I will hum it.
I didn't know what you were doing. Take us to the break. I'm gonna stop the live stream.
That's for the very first time.